AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Yeah. You know what time it is, Fabian Perspective. I gotta use my camera, my computer camera, because I usually use my what's called the continuity camera to go live, but it's not connecting for some reason. Knicks Rehab, baby. Yeah, Ivory. I can't find anything. Is it fake news? It's not fake news. We're entertaining it. I put the question mark on the other channel, Fabian Perspective channel. Sorry about that. The Knicks for clicks thing and the clickbait and stuff, that debate is over, Ivory. Like, did you make that comment for me to click on it? Look, congrats, bro. Like, you know, we talking what's the word? Oh, Ivory, thank you, my brother, for understanding. Ivory 10. Is that like a soccer name? Ivory 10. Or is that just your YouTube name? Like, I am the 10th Ivory. The question mark mails all the difference between opinion and fake news. Oh, I mean, I understand, but YouTube is hating on us, Ivory. Like, crazy. Our views drop ridiculously, and they think they're slick. And out of nowhere, we had thousands of views, and they dropped to 100, and they want to, I guess, us to go harder with what we're doing and market with what we're doing on our own. No problem, YouTube. He's got 10 balls of Ivory soap in his shower. Ivory soap. No, we didn't. No, we did not, Bona Muse. We got to entertain it, though. Salute everybody in the building. Big Will in the building. Come on, man. Getting jiggy with it. Nah. I just said getting jiggy with it. That's crazy. Last name and former B-ball number. When I tried to play basketball, I had the number 10. Then I got kicked off the team. That's a different story for a different day. John Q, what up? 10 bars of soap is crazy. You got to use that sensitive skin Ivory soap, though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Wait, Ivory soap? No, I'm thinking of Dove soap. You can't have Ivory soap in the house. If you have Ivory soap in your house, anybody who has Ivory soap in their house, no disrespect, you go into the house, they have Ivory soap, give them a donation, a coupon for a different brand, because that should be illegal. That's nuts. That's nuts. That is crazy, bro. But we're here in the aftermath of Isaiah Hartenstein signing with Oklahoma City Thunder. Clearly they wanted him, man. 3 years, 80 whatever million. Was 27 plus 60, 87 million. Look at the math. Yeah. Just incredible. That shows you the OKC plan. Shout out to Flea. He pointed out, hey, SGA, Chet, Jalen Williams, they're all on their first, rookie deals. And I think Chet has to re-up on his deal in 2 seasons. He has a team option for the next 2 years. And then after that, I think he's a free agent, unrestricted. So that's 3 seasons that Oklahoma City, they're looking at a championship, man. They're looking for a championship. There's just no doubt about it. No doubt in my mind. But we'll get to that in a second. I do want to talk about this nepotism topic for a second, man, because number one, it takes a little bit for you guys to jump in here in the live, and number two, we give people some time, but also give you guys something to talk about. And we'll talk about that for a second. What do we really feel about the nepotism topic with LeBron and just in sports in general? I know how most of us feel. If you're a father, if you're a mother, and you have an opportunity to, you know, give your kid a job, I think you just would. And it's not just a job; it's a career. It's a way of life, a way of living. Isn't that what you want for your kids? Especially if they want to do it. And the Bronny James topic, it just set off a storm. It really did. And nepotism is in every industry and just about every organization in the world. B-ball is no different. Man, Ivory, I'm glad you jumped in here because you ain't lying. This is TYT Sports, and they break it down really good. I don't know if I should just play the video the entire time. I'm gonna go back from playing the video and just letting the audio loose because I don't want them to, do me dirty. But this is TYT. I forgot this guy's name, the gentleman who hosts it. But he's always going in on somebody. But he goes in on different. What you just said, Ivory. Yeah, nepotism is everywhere, man. And they break it down. But Monty Jones goes in, and let's see what we got to say.
Bronny James.
With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James.
Has caused.
I don't want to hear these charges, people talking about nepotism.
No,
the NBA is full of nepotism.
Full of it.
The ownership level, front offices,
Absolutely.
coaching.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it all of a sudden because of Bronny James's father plays for the Lakers.
Right.
It is rampant.
Some serious discussion.
I understand how the game is played. 99.9% of the time, none of those people look like us, Perk. And I think when I saw a lot of this chatter online from people that look like us, I'm like, hold on, don't we need more instances of Black nepotism?
From many in the media.
Let me say this. We have to stop. We have to stop. As the media and everybody else shining the light on Bronny, because it's other players that are deserve our attention, right? The lottery guys, the guys that are actually that are going to get drafted in the first round. Like, we're talking about a guy, a young man that's possibly going to go late second round or not getting drafted at all. I've never, in my 4 years of working here, I've never sat on the table where we're talking about a second round pick.
And there's plenty.
Sorry about the audio. Once I put my headphone down, for some reason it wasn't rocking right. I think that's the crux of the argument all the time with what Perk just said. He's so low on the totem pole, Bronny was, that people just defended this, or it became a thing because it is LeBron number one and his son number two, which is really number one for him because that's his family, right? And also, have a good day, love you. It's the morning time over here, y'all, New York City. It's just something to talk about. Like, you talk about nepotism, the nepotism that everybody's practicing and nobody wants to talk about and even mention is, if this wasn't LeBron, it wouldn't be a topic. Right? Let's go further with this.
Plenty more, like Bomani Jones of The Right Time, who despised what he saw and wrote, still can't believe either LeBron thinks this is a good idea and it's embarrassing more people in my profession won't call this clown blank that it is. But here we are. He would even see the Jay Williams video posted by Awful Announcing and quote tweeted it, writing, "No, we don't."
Some people wake up and check their phones, check the weather, check the news, check their stocks. I check SEMrush. With more than 55 digital marketing tools.
Wait, what? You gotta warn me for a commercial, man. Damn. They just throw commercials on me any given time. Sorry about that, guys.
People think this unprincipled nonsense is defensible. Saying this on television is pathetic. And let me be clear. What this has done, in my opinion, has brought out vintage Bomani on Twitter, because he is replying, vehemently defending his position, and he should. When asked, "You got that same energy for Giannis?" as in with his brother Thanasis Antetokounmpo, he replied, "Are you saying it'll be old for Bronny to be Thanasis's West, an internet laughingstock? This is his daddy's ego run amok, and I can't see how it's good for the young man. But hey, it's a cute headline, right? Excuse me, to center this back."
This is LeBron James' son, and that is a legitimate storyline that one of the great.
Whoa. See, that's my problem with that. If it wasn't LeBron, you wouldn't even be talking about it. It wouldn't even be a headline. It's only a headline because of LeBron. It's only a headline because of LeBron. That's not some sort of nepotism and whatever it is, whatever on the word you want to use. I see you over here, my guy, John Q. Cronyism, nepotism, corruption, and gossip. That's that's kind of how humans roll. And my thing with Bomani Jones is he's acting like he's not gossiping. That's gossip. This is gossip. This is sports bochinche. The stuff that the intellectual Bomani Jones acts like he's above. You ain't above it. And I'm sure in other instances he tries to show, his outside the box thinking, because he is a smart dude. Let's not get that twisted. He was on ESPN. He's killing the game right now on on YouTube, doing his thing. He was on HBO. He had a show on HBO. I respect what he's doing. I respect him bringing different points of view. I seen what's my girl? Is Ella Marie was on ESPN, from ESPN, was on his channel. They discussed the Caitlin Clark thing, and it was cool. It was great. It was great back and forth. He subtly mentions how, you know, she is targeted, right? She is targeted. It happens in every sport. That was a big gossip thing. People don't watch WNBA like that. They're lying. We see it in the numbers, but they brought us over there because of gossip. Angel Reese knows TikToking and gossiping is what got this whole thing started. It pushes it. She tries to play victim. And same thing with LeBron. That's part of this whole celebrity deal nowadays that in the last 15 years that I hate. I despise it. The whole social media thing is, in order to be built to be this hero, a part of it is you got to play a victim. And that's what villains do. Like the Joker will play the villain. The Joker will play the villain just to pull people in. Like, yo, aren't you guys tired of getting abused out here? I'm really just Robin Hood, robbing the rich. You got to be very cynical to be a celebrity. Cronyism, nepotism, corruption, and gossip. That's kind of how humans roll. And it doesn't matter if it's a democracy, you know, the shadow capitalism that we are as a country. I ain't going too deep into no damn politics, but I could drop a jewel right there, right? Like it ain't ever gonna be full-hearted capitalism because of this, because there is nepotism, because it's human nature kicking in. You can't just design an algorithm and we're gonna be robots all of a sudden. Nah, that's what makes this thing interesting. I got a video loaded up. I gotta watch about how I thought Saudi Arabia ditched the dollar, and then I got a video saying fake news about Saudi Arabia ditching the dollar. So I'm gonna watch that next. I ain't watching it with y'all. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but that's the stuff that I watch on my history list. But I digress.
The greatest of all time has a son trying to play in the NBA at the same time.
Credit.
Because this was Kendrick Perkins' take on ESPN, which genuinely seems split amongst the networks on air talent. Now, mainly with what Adrian Wojnarowski said.
I don't want to hear these charges. People talking about nepotism.
No,
the NBA is full of nepotism.
He's right. But you know what? I will go further because it is.
Oh, before he goes further, because him going further is kind of dope. Before he goes further, Woj, I'm telling you, these guys get on their high horse. Don't tell me you can't say you. Of course you can say it, because you just needed 30 seconds to a 2-minute soundbite, whatever it was, to pay for your commercials. Big Woj in the building, big CAA in the building. Let's not get that twisted. You tied to CAA. You make a living off gossiping. He is the sultan of gossip. Of sports gossip, Woj is the king. We wait for his gossip at any given moment. If Woj drops a tweet, oh my God, it's news. It is gossip. The definition of it. King of narrative. Oh, wait a minute. John Q, man. Don't do that to me. The more you know, the word nepotism comes, in fact, from nipote, Italian for nephew. That's very interesting. What is it the nephew of? If nepotism is the nephew, who's the uncle? Who's the uncle? Who is Theo? How do you say uncle in Spanish, in Italiano, eh?
It is not just one sport. It is almost every sport. Let's start with the billionaires. The Dallas Cowboys are full, and I mean full, of nepotism. Take a look at the executives. Talking about keeping it up with the Joneses, huh? What about the Spanos family with the Los Angeles Chargers? We're going to call that one out too? Probably should. Bill Belichick's son, Steve, was a defensive assistant with the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, the head coach. Go figure. Tillman Fertitta and his family. Look, Tillman owns the Houston Rockets. It's obviously not where he made his money. He made his money and then bought the Houston Rockets. But when it comes to his family business, nepotism runs amok there as well. The Colangelos? Let's not get started on that. Mike Shanahan, the head coach of the, we'll say, Washington football team, he hired his son Kyle to be offensive coordinator. Kyle has proven to be a very good coach. But let's not connect the dots here and say, well, Kyle was going to get it all along. It helps to have a foot in the door. A lot of Tishes and Maras in the New York Giants front office, don't you think? I mean, look at his list. Nepotism is there as well. Chris Collinsworth, former NFL player, current color analyst for NBC. I believe he launched.
Got a little faster. I don't know about you guys. I'm a lunatic. I will listen at things at 2 times the speed. I just need to hear the information, guys. All this screech. It's kind of looks like screech. That's crazy. But you can't just be slow speeching me to death, screech.
Launched Pro Football Focus as well. His son Jack was on those same broadcasts. He was on the field with what's my man's name? Ronnie Harrison. He also had a very important job with NBC. He was to do and was tasked with Notre Dame football coverage. Massive. It's a huge contract that the Peacock Network has. Probably helped that Chris is your dad. Jim and Jason Garrett. Did we say more? Kirk Ferentz, who loves average football, would hire his son Brian, who was one of the worst offensive coordinators in college football during his tenure. Couldn't score. Boring. I can't swear. Boring offense. Brian was eventually fired. Don't get me started on a story that we covered. Britt Reed. Scum. Terrible. He was a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. Not as a player, of course. Because of his father, Andy. Very successful. Multiple Super Bowls. How do you think Britt got the job? I mean, in politics, don't even get me started. But, a tweeter brought it up, and I reiterate. I do believe that the edits of Thanasis on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram are hilarious. I think he probably has a very bubbly personality because of what we've seen on the bench and his celebrations. But let's call a spade a spade. He is in that position because of one reason. There's the coaches as well. Rick Adelman, longtime NBA coach. His son, Dave, is also a head coach. And that works. My Chicago Bulls, head coached by Billy Donovan. His son is the head coach of the Windy City Bulls.
Okay, so the e-commerce big guys offer 2-day shipping. And maybe you're a not-so-big guy.
I appreciate you guys.
Likely aided that process. Steve Kerr's son, whose name is Nick. Same exact story. Chris Sims, the son of Phil Sims. Phil, a former quarterback.
Yeah, Phil Sims, his son. He's all right. There's a lot that comes with this, though. Did he get something else? I'll make another point. Warriors promote Mike D'Antoni Jr. general manager. That's nepotism?
Jr., the son of former longtime NBA coach Mike Dunleavy Sr., general manager of your Golden State Warriors. Probably shouldn't forget about Chris Smith as well with the New York Knicks. The Defector's Kalen Collar put in a really good piece that we covered previously for the NFL. The league averages 3.4 coaches per team who are related to a current or former NFL coach. And the percentage of coaches at the supervisory levels, the ones with hiring power, is even higher. 11 of 32 head coaches, upon this article being published, are related to a current or former NFL coach. There are 24 coordinators who are related to current or former coaches, almost a full quarter. Collar also would write, nepotism isn't exclusively for white people. As several white people interviewed for the story were quick to point out to me, that's funny. But the percentage of family hires is...
Great point. Great point. LB so wavy. The only thing that's different from those examples are they coming out and seeing that they're better than everybody in the league. A lot of them are.
Staggering dishonesty. Never thought nepotism is bad and this probably doesn't help Bronny would be hot takes. And when BSO would ask Bomani Jones, I'm just curious, why you don't think we should have more black nepotism? I'm always interested in your thoughts. I'm finding it hard to find any downside in it. Jones would reply, nepotism by definition is negative. A market inefficiency, never a good thing. Black people engaging in it won't level anything. It's just corruption by a different group. At some point, people got to stand on some principle somewhere. The fact I have to explain this saddens me. So what
I got to disagree with Bomani there because how for a long time there weren't too many black coaches in the NBA for a league that's like 75, what is it, 85% black. It just is what it is. Like everyone tries, trying to make it seem like it's not that hard, man. I think, especially for someone that's like LeBron James, he's done. The decision was revolutionary, right? Creating an agency with your guy Rich Paul is revolutionary. It just is. So him playing with his son in the league is new, is different. It's a part of the Hollywood nepotism that always existed. If you know me, you know by now that I believe the NBA, sports in general, is nothing but another extension of Hollywood, another branch of Hollywood. So I don't see a difference in this. We see that happening all the time. Marky Mark and his brother, right? Like the other Wahlberg was in New Kids on the Block. Marky Mark from Boston area, or from Boston, he gets on into the game through nepotism. It just is what it is. And nepotism, they just closely related to family members. These are people that are blood related. They don't even talk about people like friends, people who are considered blood that aren't blood related. There's no DNA involved. So this is all, just clearly nonsense. The entire unqualified Trump family was in the White House. Ridiculous. I think it's blatant. Like even when we go politics, AOC got caught up in something too when she helped her niece out with something, and it just proves like she's supposed to be, that sort of progressive voice at some point. And regardless of what you feel, where you stand politically, even she represents something that's anti this apparently, but then she falls into it because what are you going to do when you get more power? It's easy to say that when you don't have the power. And then we're the pawns that are going to talk about it. We're the pawns that are going to react to it. That's part of the reason why ESPN and Woj is talking about it, and Stephen A. Smith, and everybody was talking about it, because if it wasn't LeBron, we wouldn't have a reaction. We just wouldn't. If D'Angelo Russell got his little brother drafted, like when J.R. Smith got his brother on the Knicks, it wasn't a story. Because it's J.R. Smith. Super talented, but it just is what it is. It's not talked about anymore. It's brought up now because LeBron James did all this. I think that's the hypocrisy that they don't want to talk about. Nobody said that before they even spoke about it, including super intellectual Bomani Jones. It's not a knock on him, but it's just, to you guys' point, like, I think we don't point to the awful nepotism, like with the Dallas Cowboys. For you to be that mediocre of a super team, like the Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable franchise at times. They go up and down with every other team in the world as the most valuable franchise, and they are like mediocre great. They can have all this super talent, and somehow they're gonna fumble the bag because they didn't do it with what James Dolan, another beneficiary of nepotism, they didn't do what James Dolan did. James Dolan finally, after several years, 15 years in the league, he hired Phil Jackson. I thought that was a great move. Actually, Donnie Walsh was the first great move after 8 years of owning the Knicks in 08-09, when he replaced Isaiah Thomas. Donnie Walsh was the move, and then he fired him like a moron. Then he got Phil Jackson 5 years later, which I think the idea was great. But once he had Derek Fisher, it was like, uh-oh. And then James Dolan finally, apparently takes a back seat all the way in the back, and Leon Rose is the president, and he's running things, and we love him. We love him to death over here. But I also believe we don't talk about this enough. And for a long time, shout out to Flea. Not that he hated me for saying it, but Bomani Jones, I'm sorry, not Bomani Jones. Flea hated the fact that I would point to Monty Williams and how he was just messing things up over there in Detroit. But he was the head of it, and it was like he shouldn't have taken the job if this is what happens when you take the $100 million. You have to take our criticism, and you become the face of what's going on in Detroit, which is awful nepotism.
Deep with the Detroit Pistons, and I put on my investigative boots to show you guys how bad this runs through the organization. Corruption, nepotism, you name it, it runs deep with this team, and it's bad. If you don't know what nepotism is, just think of that one kid who gets everything he wants because daddy knows somebody. Start off with Arm Tellem. If you don't know who this is, he used to be a big-time NBA agent. Now he's been like a vice president in the Pistons organization for years. Basically second in command. And guess who the Pistons have running their director of player personnel? It's his son, bro. You can't be serious, man. You might think, oh, he could be qualified. No, he worked in marketing and ticket sales. This franchise is so unserious. No wonder their player development, their player scouting is so bad. We're not even done yet. Troy Weaver has something up his sleeve. He hired his own son as a strategy analyst for the team, bro. Not even trying to hide it at this point. They do not care. This team doesn't care about winning, so why should I? Why should any Piston fan? He was previously a camp counselor, bro. You can't make this up. Can we get some serious people in to run this organization, please? Is that too much to ask? Nepotism runs deep with the Detroit Pistons, and I put on my investigative boots.
So you see that guy's a Pistons fan. He's going crazy over there. I think I just wanted to end it with that. Like, that's nepotism gone bad. If you feel like the Lakers are totally out of contention because of the nepotism, you know, JJ Redick being hired, that's nepotism. If he's really hired based on this podcast with LeBron, that's the connection. That's nepotism because you did it with like, I think nepotism is just a natural thing. You're gonna go. That's why you need other people around you to go. Wait a minute, you can't have yes men around you, and we're making these crazy, you know, not crazy, but you know, long lasting decisions. That, you know, somebody has to be around you to go. Like, you sure JJ's a guy? That's your man, but. Same thing with his son. Is your son ready? There's no way LeBron and Rich Paul and that team didn't sit down with Bronny and media train him. That kid is in the spotlight and he's very comfortable. He's very comfortable in the face of all this drama. So shout out to LeBron for raising his son like that, and just they completed the mission. I think the objective is complete. Obviously, there's more to this objective, you know, playing ball and making a career out of it. But man, I can't be mad at having your son sound that way, act that way. Again, no real drama that we know about, no real scandals, and it's tough remember LeBron being a child star himself. Probably, come on, there's a bunch of traumas that come with that. We've seen, if you're my age, I'm 41. We saw what the child stars went through, different strokes. The show, the different strokes, had a show full of child stars that was like the ultimate. If you know, don't make your kid a child star, and we didn't care. That was the 80s. In the 90s, we had Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Usher, a bunch of stars that were 13, 14 years old. Aaliyah, Brandy. The list goes on. From all angles, it's not a white black thing, and you know, it's just a human thing, like you said, John Q. I love that you made, like, John Q was on fire this morning, man. John Q was on fire this morning. Cronyism, nepotism, corruption, and gossip. That's kind of how humans roll. Just on fire, man. Love that you said that. Let's get to some more comments before we move on to the thumbnail. Can't find anything. Good morning, Knicks Nation. Salute. Chill Will in the building. I think I shouted you out already, but what's wrong with shouting you out twice, my brother? Breeze, what's going on? Eric. Oh, Juju Bean says, hey. Did Knicks get Nick Richards? No, I think I answered that already. Hello, ha ha ha. Definitely showing your age with that one. Getting jiggy with it. I am. We can't all be all ball with no gray hairs. Salute to Mello. Dripmore, what's going on? Nepotism is in every industry and UST. and every organization in the world. B-ball is no different. In my opinion, I don't like LBJ, but that move is crazy. He has the power to do it, so he made it happen. Salute to him for that. You know, we all like pretty much feel that way. He can't beat Mike and Kobe and Chip, so he has to do all the other crap to be considered the GOAT. Sad. He won't maybe not beat Kobe and Chips, but I'm not gonna, further that debate. I don't think, Kobe's more skilled than LeBron, but come on now. LeBron was the king of his era. The 55th pick wasn't likely going to be an impactful pick either way. It's not like Bronny went in the lottery. That would have made it, I think, even crazier, which was what Rich Paul was trying to say. But Rich Paul is such a, that level of nepotism is nuts. And it's kind of like, you don't want Bronny to be the Rich Paul of 55th picks. Or maybe you do, because Rich Paul is still has an impact in the game. Not a great communicator, but he's still threatening teams on taking LeBron's son. They call every Laker point guard a bum. What's going to happen if Bronny does way worse than Westbrook or D'Lo, right? Are people going to bite their tongue or keep the same energy? I think that's the other thing. Like, he came to the Lakers. It's the Lakers, LeBron. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and I'm pretty sure they prepped him for it because he sounds good. Obviously, when things start really going bad, that's when you'll see how it affects him. Young kid, fresh out of his teenage years, he looks great though. That's my point earlier. LBJ has the power to do it. Yep, absolutely. He makes it look better in the NBA's eyes. It's all about the story. He is still the most compelling story in the NBA, right? The child star, all grown up. We saw his story from beginning to end. Kobe was a lot like that with us. This is just Kobe times 2, because we were following LeBron from high school, and it was ESPN showing his games from then. The Hummer. There's so many stories from back then that were national news because of ESPN. So, yeah, he's still the most compelling story, and now he's extending it with his son. And of course, Bryce is supposed to be better than him, and I guess it'll keep going. 55th pick history. Oh, you're gonna break it down, Chunky? Don't do it. Don't do it. It's gonna be a bunch of names that we don't want to. Come on. Knicks will be 2025 and 2026 champs. Wow. You updated the name. What do you mean we were following Kobe Bryant from high school too? Not like this, LB. Kobe Bryant's games was not on ESPN. They didn't have commercials for it leading up to the game. LeBron was. It just wasn't this. It's not comparable. He didn't remember the next Michael Jordan from 15 years old, the chosen one, 15, 16 years old on Sports Illustrated. They dubbed him that. He ran with it, right? He tatted it on his back. It was, he lived up to the hype because he's still a story at 40 years old. This is over 2 decades. This is 2 decades worth of this. It's just different. 55th picks, huh? Bronny James, Isaiah Wong, Guy Santos, Aaron Wiggins, who just got a major deal with OKC, right? Yeah, Jay Scrub, Kyle Guy, Arnovis Kulpoka. These are like 2K auto-generated rookie names. They really are. That's what I keep hearing, Theo. I haven't heard just nothing bad about Bryce at all. Mike James was a 55th pick. Is he the best 55th pick ever? I never seen Brimstone High School game, and I watched ESPN really religiously when it was good. Luis Scola. Luis Scola was a 55th pick? Those are great names. Scola made an impact. Great international player, too. Honestly, these are just LeBron fans, not really Lakers fans that's pushing for this father-son stuff on the Lakers. They're not going to win anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Yeah, and they lost out with Klay Thompson. And I don't know, have the Knicks lost out with our new guy, Nick Richards? Nick Richards. Is he a great replacement for Isaiah Hartenstein? He's currently the backup to Mark. It's not Mark Johnson. Not Sean Mark. Mark Williams on the Charlotte Hornets. Mark Williams is a little more talented. Mark Williams is a little more. I mean, we could finagle a trade for him. That would be crazy. But he's a little more injury prone. He was a 15th overall pick, but Nick Richards was a 42nd overall pick. He filled in for Mark Williams. We're losing out on all these candidates to back up Hartenstein or to fill in for Hartenstein and just play that role. Of course, we can always just stay put and we don't have to go crazy. Mo Wagner's still out there. Mo Wagner's a lunatic. I would love for him to be on the team just to start something. But if it's between Mo Wagner and a sign and trade deal for Mo Wagner or pickup of Nick Richards, I think Nick Richards is more impactful on that court. Right? Nick Richards, Jamaica's very own. 5-star recruit class of 2017, committed to the University of Kentucky. He was UK's first commit in the class of 2017. But the 5-star recruit thing stood out to me. Jordan Brand class, he had 10 points, 3 rebounds. He had career highs of 25 and 15 against the Wildcats. But more so than anything else, 42nd overall pick, immediately traded to the Hornets. The Pelicans drafted him. He's just somebody that we can see, filling in for Isaiah Hartenstein, being that we're losing out on these backups. Bizzarri in Orlando looked interesting. Who else? We threw out Isaiah Stewart also for a trade for toughness and just being a part of who's going to fit in Tibbs' system. Who do we think is not going to mind working out? Right? The Hornets have, I don't see a lot to lose, but with Mark Williams coming back, schedules will come back. You can see them putting Nick Richards on the trade block, if anything, if necessary. I've just looked up his per 36 points per game. So Nick Richards for per 36 is at 13 and 11 for last season. Field goal percentage is 69%. Blocks, he averaged 1.5 blocks, half a steal, 1 assist, and 3.5 offensive rebounds. And again, that's with the Hornets lineup, but that would be him filling in for Mark Williams. So there's a lot. There's a lot that comes with that. Jeremiah Grant is rumored to go to the Lakers. Jonas Valanciunas, as a pick and roll guy, yeah. But I don't even need to look up at the stats. I know about Nick Richards. He's definitely a good replacement. I had no idea about him, and I stopped watching a lot of the Hornets games because of LaMelo going down. But also, I was watching Mark Williams. Mark Williams was a guy I wanted to try to sneakily pick up and get from the Hornets. But I didn't realize he was like a number 14 pick out of Duke. So that was tough. But I should have watched more Nick Richards games. And again, Tibbs, we call him the center whisperer over here, right? Like, he's just amazing talent. Nick rebounds win me money on my parlays. He's a good replacement on our team. Have you watched him play though, LB? Oh, you just said you don't look at his stats. I don't think Nick Richards is a free agent. I thought he was. So who are we trading for Nick Richards? Sign and trade, right? That's when it goes left. I think those second round picks are going to come in handy, and whatever other first rounders we have left, if we feel he's that good, and we feel like we can make the next Isaiah Hartenstein. I think that's what it's all about. Is trying to create this new front court, replace Mitchell Robinson at times, because that is the bottom line, right? Like, we do expect the Knicks to get hurt. We do expect them to sit down some games. I don't want to say load management, but Tibbs has to start thinking about how do you manage the minutes and the rotation so that we get these guys prepped for the playoffs, because that's when you want the soldiers to line up, have an 8-man rotation, not a 7-man rotation. You have enough guys here to have an 8-man rotation. So, yes, I believe in Tibbs' system, but I also believe it can be adjusted. And, of course, you get a guy like Nick Richards or even, again, revisiting Precious Achiuwa. There's no way you can't revisit that. With Hartenstein out now Precious is going to feel more confident because he knew last season Isaiah Hartenstein filled in to start as center, but Nick Richards knew I'm going to play backup. I'm sorry, not Nick Richards. Precious Achiuwa knew he's the backup to Isaiah Hartenstein. Once Mitchell Robinson, he realized he was out. Then the playoffs came in and Mitchell Robinson came back in there. 30 minutes the first game, and you didn't play Precious Achiuwa for 4 games out of the six games against the 76ers in round 1. That was tough. Will that factor in Precious Achiuwa this free agency period? I can see him being upset about that. I'm upset about that, and I'm not Precious Achiuwa. And I'm upset that he didn't play in all 6 games against the 76ers, that he didn't play in every single playoff game last season. I'm totally upset about that. Nick Richards signed a 3-year, $15 million deal last offseason. Yeah, so that means he has 2 seasons left, and it will put us in another situation that we have Hartenstein, which is why OKC signed Hartenstein to that 3-year deal, by the way. They see a championship window in the next 3 seasons, and they also will have the bird rights for Hartenstein and be able to offer him whatever it is in the open market 3 years from now, and nobody would be able to outbid them. So with Nick Richards, if we do trade for him, we would be in a similar scenario as we were this season when we lost Hartenstein. So thank you for that, John Q. Yeah, he did. We just covered that. Knicks get rid of Sims with some draft picks. Are the Hornets down to Nick Richards is better than Jericho Sims. You just watch him for 30 seconds, you could tell he's way better than Jericho Sims. Like, it is what it is. Especially Mitch and OG. Sims, get rid of him. Is that what you're saying? Get rid of him? Yeah, Mitch and OG, who are injury prone, are going to need somebody to fill in for them. And Achiuwa's there. But again, I got to repeat, we're all human. Precious Achiuwa is human. Is he going to say, yo, Tommy 2 Chains, I did great with you. I know what you're about. I saw Hartenstein get $30 million out there a year, damn near. I don't know about playoff time coming around and all of a sudden you forget about me. Even though I didn't do great in the regular season, I did fall off towards the end of the regular season when Mitchell Robinson came back. And I knew I have a couple of minutes to show up. And if I don't show up, I'm sitting down like Evan Fournier all over again. Right? Not saying that I disagree with that from Tom Thibodeau. I don't disagree with that. If he feels like you're not doing well and he sits you down, I ain't mad at that. All I'm upset with is Achiuwa not playing all these games in the playoffs when you knew our center was coming back not fully healthy because he hadn't fully rehabbed. So, yeah, this is going to be, man, it's just tough thinking about all this. Show got mad players from the Mavericks, including recently with Josh Green, so they can give up Nick Richards. Oh, right. They got Josh Green in the deal for Klay Thompson, right? Was it that deal with the Mavericks? The Mavericks got Najee, Klay Thompson, and former Nick Quentin Grimes. That's about the 30th Nick they've signed or acquired in the last 7 years. They like our guys. Remember, Quentin Grimes spent the last offseason working with JJ Redick. He adjusted his shot, but I was not impressed by it. Like, it wasn't, if he was hitting his shots the way that he could have, I don't think we even trade Quentin Grimes. Obviously, right? Like he's athletic. He D's up. Those are 3 great pickups for the Mavericks, man. We're gonna have to rank who has had the best offseason because the Knicks were winning by a landslide. But now I had Philadelphia in second place yesterday. But rethinking this, Alex Caruso and Hartenstein. Do you understand how a Hartenstein high pick and roll with Chet is gonna look like? That's gonna be nuts. That's gonna be nuts. I said it yesterday. Maybe call me crazy, but SGA is a 6'6" Brunson. Footwork, doesn't let up on the shot, looks to get a foul call, plays better defense. He's a two-way player. SGA is a two-way player. Did he deserve to be the number 2 candidate for MVP? I don't think so. I don't think so. Him and Luka, to me, you didn't do what Joker did without your help. I don't think. I know they were all in the middle of the pack without their teammates, their strong allies during the regular season. But Joker remains Joker no matter who's around him. And the other guys bring this extra level. Obviously, Dallas making that trade put them on a different level. But I'm drawing straws, or I'm splitting hairs. Sam Presti, how impressed are we with Sam Presti? After years of going crazy on him, just destroying Sam Presti. We can't be mad at this. This was not James Harden for it wasn't Roberson. It was for Kevin Martin. He learned from his mistakes, right? The James Harden for Kevin Martin deal, he learned from that. We made the championship. We're a championship contending team. We can beat anybody out there any given night, except for the Lakers, except for the Nuggets, maybe. They destroy us because we don't have a big body. They add a big body. They also add Alex Caruso out there alongside Lou Dort and SGA. So now you have 3 guys that really play defense and can create for you. And Hartenstein is a guy that could really smart player. Obviously, we know his shortcomings. He doesn't average a double-double for a reason. Paying $29 million a year for someone who does not average a double-double. A lot of people think he won't play at the end of games, but he's a big body, and he still might get outplayed by these big bodies, Isaiah Hartenstein. But Sam Presti is going all in for the next 3 years because he knows how much SGA is maturing. That leap SGA took 2 seasons ago, along with Chet coming in the mix. Chet puts them into this Western Conference Finals championship contending team, or can beat any team out there. This is really his 3rd professional season. I'm battling between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Philadelphia 76ers as having the 2nd best offseason, and the offseason is not even finished yet. One of them can sneak into the number 1 position now. Philly has a whole bunch of cap space. I think Oklahoma City is pretty much done with at least the big acquisitions. 76ers, though, they got to be in second. And then Dallas is in the mix too, right? Top 4 teams for the offseason. Incredible. I'm not saying the Boston Celtics had a bad offseason. I'm not going to go there before I get to this next topic. But we have to I meant to go to this article a while ago, probably a week ago. This is before they even signed Jason Tatum. They were already saying the Celtics' $600 million duo fits comfortably under the new NBA salary cap for now. So that was June 18th. That was 2 weeks ago. So it was 2 weeks ago. Jaylen Brown agreed to the richest deal in NBA history last summer. Jason Tatum is eligible to outdo Brown with $315 million extension, which he did sign. So this is what some of the things they were saying in the article before they even signed, that deal was signed by Jason Tatum yesterday. 11 months ago, the Celtics signed Jaylen Brown to the richest contract in NBA history, a 5-year Supermax extension worth $303 million. Technically, Tatum has 2 years left on his contract, ending with a player option. Signing an extension would change the terms of that final year and start the extension for the 25-26 season. Ahead of a game, this is before Game 5 even was over. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, before Game 5, reported he spoke with Jason Tatum's agent, Joe Wexler, who said there hasn't been an extension talks in season, but doesn't expect it to be an issue. Right, and Derek White re-signed as well. So I'm gonna go definitely look for the other article. I think it was Front Office Sports again. Shout out to Front Office Sports. Shout out to Dreamers Pro for putting me on the Front Office Sports. I love Front Office Sports and information. They tied in all these guys. The Celtics tied in all these players after winning a championship because they just got sold or an agreement was made. Team owner Wick Grusbeck bought the team for $360 million in 2002. The Celtics are valued at $4.7 billion according to the Forbes. So they're teetering into Golden State, Lakers, Knicks territory now, right? The NBA champions are officially for sale. The Celtics majority ownership group, led by Wick Grosbeck, is planning to put the team on the market. The news was first reported by ESPN and made it official by the team shortly after. In a statement, the Celtics said the decision to sell was made for estate and family planning considerations. Grosbeck and his investment group bought the team from the Gaston family in 2002 for $360 million. Not Gaston. Is it Gaston or Gatson, guys? Come on. Who's your editor? Now, Grosbeck, majority ownership group led by, I'm sorry. According to Forbes, Celtics are valued at roughly $4.7 billion, the fourth highest among NBA teams, but that valuation is from October 2023. The title put Celtics over Lakers for most NBA titles, and the team's championship window is still open as Jason Tatum, 26, and Jaylen Brown are each in their prime. Could they become the NBA's first $5 billion team? I thought the Golden State Warriors were worth $6 billion. The Celtics said they expect to sell a majority stake in 2024 or early 2025, with the remaining balance closing in 2028. Grosbeck will stay on as team governor until 2028, when the second part of a deal is expected to close. The setup sounds similar to the tiered structure for Glenn Taylor's Timberwolves sale to former baseball player Alex Rodriguez and his business partner Mark Lore. Those groups are now in arbitration after Taylor pulled the team off the market in March over Rodriguez and Lore allegedly missing payments, which they dispute. Rodriguez and Lore recently added former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg to their ownership group. If you didn't miss any payments, why did you need to add Big Billy Michael Bloomberg to that mix? Kind of don't believe you, A-Rod. And A-Rod comes off a little scummy, just a tad. But you see here, this is why I think the Celtics, clearly why they signed Tatum to that deal, Brown, Derek White for $125 million, 4 seasons, so he's going to get paid $30 million a year. Drew Holiday's deal. Drew Holiday contract, 4 years, valued at $135 million. Wow. Another $30 million a year for Drew Holiday, another player. So you're gonna have over $700 million for 4 players on the Boston Celtics. Their window is the next 2 or 3 seasons, like Oklahoma City Thunder. But Oklahoma City Thunder's cap is going to look way different. Do you do this if you're the Boston Celtics? Yeah, because you're Boston. You're a traditional team. You have a chance to really go back to back. Jason Tatum's entering his prime. You sign him for through his prime. Jaylen Brown through his prime. Anything could happen. The next 2 years, Drew Holiday is probably going to be traded, or Derek White is not going to be traded, but they're going to have to get really, really creative. And they still have Brad Stevens over there. Shout out to Joe Mazzulla, Joe Maz, doing his thing. But that's why the Celtics signed him for that much money, to guarantee that the next team is going to take them over with this. It's interesting, also interesting to see all these ownership groups just taking over these NBA teams at their peaks. Do we see a lull coming soon? It's the reason why I said Mark Cuban, he's the one who spoiled Luka Doncic for a situation like this, where he sells the Dallas Mavericks for $400 million. Excuse me, for $4 billion, because you had to make sure you had a cornerstone franchise piece that goes viral for anything. But in the midst of that, you lost Rick Carlisle, championship coach. You lost Donnie Nelson Jr. Does Rick Carlisle have some flaws? Yep, they pointed to it. But Rick Carlisle was just in the conference finals with another team, with the Pacers, right? He was in the conference finals with the Pistons 20 years ago. He had the Pacers in position to probably be a championship team around 20 years ago, where the Malice in the Palace took place. And now he won with the Mavericks. He went to several conference finals with them, and now he's in position. He made another conference finals with the Pacers. You lost that guy because you wanted to keep Luka Doncic and give him that much power, and all of that got exposed in the finals, all because you wanted to sell the team. So big business took over the NBA, and that business bochinche, will it ruin the Celtics? Is that way too much money to give two players who just won the championship, who aren't necessarily Shaq and Kobe? Yes, they are great. Jaylen Brown took a step up, but you still need those role players. Those other guys did fill in. Porzingis has one more year left, if I'm not mistaken. He got hurt. He's injury prone. Al Horford is a big deal. His time will diminish there as well. His usage will diminish. But did they have other players that they really needed, or are they that replaceable over there in Boston? And making them we're giving them the respect and saying that they're the number one team in the NBA right now. They just got to be. There's no way around that. They paid all their role players already. They did that throughout the season. I thought they were missing the bench. I have to revise my statement in real time. Thank you, LB. Celtics paid role players. Who, Pritchard in them? Teams role players. I don't know if this is old, LB. So for the next, you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 seasons, Jaylen Brown is signed. Obviously, Tatum is not updated. And maybe this whole thing isn't updated. Not just saying this. Could be missing something, because look, they don't have the what's my guy? Derek White. So you're saying that these other guys, but they are replaceable though. Jaden Springer, shout out to Jaden Springer, man, son of our guy, Jared Springer, Uptown legend, got drafted by the 76ers. So did Jaden Springer, by the way, who had like some of the dopest defensive highlights this season, the last couple seasons. Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser. Those guys are replaceable. This is the core, right? That core 4 right there. I think that is your point, man, at the end of the day, LB. They got all the main guys, all the main role players out the way. Some of the bench guys, they'll think on re-signing or letting them walk or whatever. Yeah, because you're right, man. That's the bottom line. You got your core four over there in Boston. They just won a championship. Can they sneakily add Nick Richards? I know Mo Bamba just signed with somebody, the Clippers. The Celtics might make a sneaky acquisition, especially with Porzingis being down. Damn. That is a sick core four. But remember, Flea made this point at the beginning of this year, before the season started, about the Denver Nuggets. What did they do to really maintain and improve the team? Right? That's always a great point, always a big point. It's just that the Celtics, those are 4 two-way players. We got ours, though. OG, Mikal Bridges. Randall is like teetering on both. Mitchell Robinson teeters with both. He dominates the offensive rebounds and he grabs defensive rebounds. You know what we got going on over here. That's why I don't believe in Philly, because Paul George is no longer a two-way player in my opinion. What is he doing? Embiid is a two-way player, but it's a marathon. All I know is, what are we doing? We need to make a move for a backup center in New York. Hasn't done anything yesterday. But we do have to trust Leon Rose, right? They knew what was going on. Aaron Mintz is Isaiah Hartenstein's agent, who is CAA. They got that word immediately. As soon as he got the word from OKC, he heard the tone, he either pressed Y or N or yay or nay and text that out to Leon Rose, right? We know this. We don't ever want any indictments on our guys, because we're going to see all the text transcripts that we don't want to see. LB, we'll leave with this. Even if we can't get Nick Richards right now, we go with Achua. We don't sign Achua. Mo Bamba just signed with the Clippers. Whoever it is you think that we didn't get this offseason, we have these second-round draft picks. We still have to iron out the Mikal Bridges trade. We still have to iron that out. I think that's what the Knicks are really working on, right? And they have all these different calculations on what players are being traded, what the math will look like then, and then all of these other algorithms and equations extend to what players are available and who's going to be on the market for a trade during the regular season. The halfway mark, the All-Star break is going to be crazy. The trade deadline is going to be nuts. Everyone's going to want to look to improve or reassure their team, because somebody's going to get hurt, especially with the Knicks. I would love Kyle Anderson. Are you crazy? At this point, it's going to be too much money. He hasn't been signed yet. How much was Kyle Anderson making last year? 4 years for $37 million. So he was making around $8 million, $9 million in salary. And a great point AllBall made. It's not about replacing Isaiah Hartenstein. It's replacing the piece that we think we need to make us a little bit better, or to maintain and strengthen and reaffirm what we have already. So Isaiah Hartenstein may not have been the greatest big up player, but maybe, let's say, someone like Kyle Anderson, he does that and then some on the offensive end with Hartenstein. Aside from the offensive rebounding, I mean, Kyle Anderson will be a dream for me. I was talking about him halfway through the season. Hector, I appreciate that name drop, because Kyle Anderson is the guy that those guys, the Ant-Man and his teammates in Minnesota, they got nothing but good things to say about him, and the whole NBA has nothing but good things to say about Slow-Mo, Kyle Anderson. He's big time. Another guy who fits this era and is even more important in this era, like Isaiah Hartenstein, because they have court vision, right? Your center back in the day, he didn't necessarily need court vision. Your center, power forward, small forward, and two guards, if they had court vision, it was usually because you were on a great team where you passed the ball around, like those late 70s Portland Trailblazers, as opposed to the team that they beat in the 76ers. It was one guy that had court vision, right? The 76ers beat them outright because high IQ, but a part of having high IQ is court vision and executing on it and displaying the court vision. Kyle Anderson is the ultimate version of court vision. If we can afford that after trading for Mikal Bridges, I don't know how much playing time he'll have. I don't know if he'll look forward to having playing time. I don't know if he's looking for that. He averages 22 minutes a game, 29 minutes a game with the Grizzlies in 2018, 2019. Kyle Anderson last year averaged 22 minutes a game. Could we get him 22 minutes a game? 6 points, 3.5 rebounds, 4 assists. The 4 assists is what's going to stand out with Kyle Anderson at 22 minutes. He shot 22% from three. And the year before was 41%. For his career, he shoots 33% from three. That's way below average. I think the average in the NBA is 38% now, 36. So his career, he shot 33% from three. Basically 34. His career high was 41% the year before with Minnesota. He's 30 years old. I take back what I said, Hector. I don't forget Kyle Anderson. We need a banger out there. Shout out to all 68 people in the building. AllBall TV, Fabian PerspecTV YouTube channel. All over 400 people in the building with Twitter, YouTube combined. Really appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you for putting up with my Bomani Jones video. Love y'all, man. Y'all make us go. Let us know what topics you want to talk about too. Keep throwing players out there for us to argue about. Throw into the group chat. See we know what we're talking about. I agree, Will. Totally agree. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.